Tell me I'm not invisible. A story of social anxiety, attachment, and complex PTSD by Bruce Wheelton. Preface. There are moments in life that quietly divide everything into before and after. You don't see them coming. You don't mark them as history when they arrive. They slip into your life like shadows, unnoticed at first. And when you finally look back, everything has changed. This is a story about how love found me, how it changed me, and how the eventual loss of that love shattered everything I had come to believe about who I was and how life works. But more than that, it's a story for anyone who's ever felt fundamentally different, invisible in a crowd, uncertain of their worth, carrying wounds that others can't see. As both someone who lived this experience and later became a therapist specializing in trauma, I've learned that our stories of struggle can become bridges to healing, not just for ourselves, but for others walking similar paths. This memoir weaves together personal narrative with insights I've gained through my professional work, particularly as a mental health therapist with a license in clinical social work and as a peer support specialist who uses their own pain to help others find their way through theirs. This is not just a story about love and loss. It is a story about attachment, what it means to be seen, held, chosen. It's about the lasting impact of childhood emotional deprivation, being repeatedly assaulted by one's mother and father, and how trauma can masquerade as personality, making us believe we're fundamentally flawed rather than wounded. And it's about what happens when those crucial bonds are broken, when the very foundation of safety we built comes crashing down. Despite carrying the same name as my father, Bruce Martin Wheelton Sr., I, Bruce Martin Wheelton Jr., was not shielded from the many years, year after year after year, of unpredictable physical assaults by Kathleen Wheelton, and to a lesser degree my father, Bruce Wheelton Sr. If you've ever struggled with social anxiety that felt like selective mutism, if you've wondered whether you might be on the autism spectrum only to discover your differences stem from trauma, if you've lived with the deep shame of believing you're unlovable, this story is for you. For some reason, this seems to be the latest fad where being on the spectrum is being embraced by many to celebrate their differences, which is good, but it might not fit you. It's for those who understand what it means to feel like a ghost in your own life, for survivors of narcissistic abuse, and for anyone grappling with complex PTSD symptoms that seem to emerge just when you thought you'd healed. As a child, I knew emotional deprivation. I knew how to hide and survive, but I didn't know how to want because I had never been taught what it meant to be loved. The transformation that followed wasn't just personal recovery. It became the foundation for my life's work, helping others who carry similar wounds. Then I met Kelta and then Lynn. Through these women, I tasted the kind of connection I once believed was reserved for other people. I built a life. I became a therapist. I knew joy and purpose and secure attachment for the first time. And then in 2000, everything fell apart. What I discovered in that collapse was that healing isn't linear, that attachment wounds can reopen, and that complex PTSD symptoms can resurface even after years of apparent recovery. But I also learned something crucial. Our capacity for connection, once awakened, never truly dies, even when we can barely remember what it felt like to be held. This book is told in two parts. Part one is a love story, a story of healing, of what it means to be truly seen and how that visibility can transform a life built on invisibility. Part two is about what happens when that love slips away, when loss becomes trauma, when the past you once survived comes roaring back, and when you must learn to live with an activated nervous system that remembers danger everywhere. This is not a tale of tidy recovery. It is a story of endurance, dissociation, searching, and longing, of trying to find one's way through the fog of complex PTSD while holding onto the professional identity of someone who's supposed to help others heal, and of wondering whether hope, once lost, can ever be trusted again. But it's also a testament to the human capacity for resilience, the power of peer support, and the radical idea that we don't have to love ourselves first to be worthy of love. Sometimes it's through being loved that we learn we are lovable. Whether you're a fellow traveler on the path of trauma recovery, someone who loves someone struggling with these invisible wounds, or a professional seeking to understand the lived experience behind the diagnoses, I offer this story as both witness and guide. We all deserve to be loved. We all deserve to know we are lovable. And sometimes sharing our deepest wounds becomes the very thing that helps others find their way home to themselves.